Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 cast by Glitch. Today, we are continuing to check out the stylings of Team Liquid's TLO. We've already checked out his ZVZ style and his ZVP style. Now we're going to be looking at some of his ZVT games from the ladder. So spawning here in the top left position of Whirlwind LE, as the blue Zerg, we have Team Liquid's TLO. His opponent spawning in the bottom left position as the red Terran, we have Polt. At least, I'm pretty sure this is the actual Polt, like the Korean Terran Polt. I could be wrong. This could be just a wannabe guy on the ladder, but I'm pretty sure this is him. Both of these players are in Grandmaster, so both of them are very, very good, regardless of whether this is the professional player Polt or not. Both of these players are very, very good, both in the Grandmaster League, and of course, TLO being professional. And Polt, if this is Polt, also a professional. So this should be a pretty good game nonetheless. Now, Polt so far, just throwing down that supply depot, everything looking absolutely standard in the base of Polt, and in the base of TLO, likewise, so far everything absolutely standard, no early pools going down yet. It is of course fairly standard in this matchup to be going, still going hatch first at 15, and then following that up with a pool. Now, let's talk a little bit about the spawning positions. This map is Whirlwind LE, and there's a little bit of a thing where center map control is kind of important on this map, because if we just look down here at the mini-map for a little while, we can see that all of the bases just kind of have these paths that lead straight into the middle of the map. So to a certain degree, you kind of have to come into the middle of the map before you pull back to any of the bases. This means that it's actually a little bit longer of a distance to every base than it looks. But what does this mean for these positions that they've spawned in? They've spawned in these two vertical positions. So they've spawned about as close as you can possibly spawn on this map. So ideally for TLO, he would want to be spawning cross positions. He would want to be spawning in this corner with his opponent spawning in this corner. And TLO with his first Overlord actually manages to get in here and poke in and see the buildings going down here for Polt. So he knows that his opponent has spawned here. So he knows that they are at relatively close positions, about as close as you can get on this map. So let's talk about expansions. How is TLO going to be wanting to take his expansions here? How does a Zerg want to expand? In general, a Zerg unit is faster than a Terran unit. Or, in general, Zerg units are faster than Terran units. So this means that if your bases are connected by creep, your units are very, very quick at getting between your bases. Very, very good at defending. So this means that you want to expand and stay away from your opponent. So here's TLO's main. He's going to be wanting to take his natural here, and he'll be wanting to take his third here, so that he can continue to expand away from his opponent, and then so on around the map in this direction. Now, Polt, on the other hand, is going to want to do something opposite. In general, a Terran army is very, very strong, and somewhat less mobile than a Zerg army. So what does this mean? This means that if you start here, for Polt, he's going to want to expand to his natural here, and then he's going to want to take his third here. He wants to expand towards his opponent. Why? Because he can take this third, place his big, fat, strong army here, where he can be closest to his opponent. So he can be threatening his opponent's bases and simultaneously defending his own bases. Unless he decides that he wants to be super, super turtley, sit back, defend on this base, this base, and this base, and then do lots of drop play and try to spread his opponent and keep his opponent back that way. This is just general, kind of the general rules for Terran and Zerg expanding. Now as you can see here, TLO is starting to take this third here right away because he does know that this base has gone down. Polt likewise is going to be coming in here, scouting and seeing this third going down, so he's going to feel a little bit safe to know that his opponent's not coming with any two base all-ins. Now TLO did mine some gas here, hasn't started his Zergling speed yet. Notice he's only got 2 guys on that gas geyser as well. But other than that, everything looking perfectly normal here for TLO. Continuing to get lots and lots of drones, starting this extractor as well. No layer tech yet. No layer tech yet for TLO. In the base of Polt, we have a whole lot of barracks coming down and a couple of factories coming down. One which is already double producing Hellions. So this is interesting. We have a tech lab coming down as well. So this to me says that Polt is most likely going to be going for an early aggressive play. Most likely with some Hellions. He might actually swap this factory onto this tech lab and start to get that blue flame upgrade and produce Hellions 3 at a time. And that's definitely an option here for Polt to try to be a little bit aggressive in the early game. But the fact that he's getting up all of these barracks and the fact that he's throwing down these tech labs means that what Polt is going to be doing here is he's actually going to be going for a Hellion Marauder timing. Hellion Marauder timing, this can be very, very strong against Zerg players because what units are Zergs going to have early in the game? Lings and Roaches. Those are the early Zerg defensive units. What's good against Lings? Hellions. What's good against Roaches? Marauders. So this is a very, very nice little way to open here and be very, very aggressive and potentially deal some big damage here. Oh, TLO's coming in for the scout. How much of this will he see? He does manage to see the factory, and he manages to see the barracks with the tech lab. Sees another tech lab as well, so he might have some idea of what his opponent is doing. In the meantime, he's continuing to spread creep here very well, but he's starting to produce some lings. He knows his opponent is going to be a little bit aggressive. He's throwing down a Baneling Nest, but no Roachborn is coming down yet. We also have Lair Tech on the way. Looks like that Lair Tech was started around the 7-minute mark, and now he's up to 4 gases as well. Now, he started to mine up this third base, but I think he's kind of suspicious of his opponent right now. He's seeing this many tech labs and this many reactors. This generally means that a big attack could be coming in. Yes, we do now see Polt is moving out here. He's got a lot of Marauders in the mix, a bunch of Hellions already on the map. If we check out the unit counting station, 7 Marauders out already, as well as 12 Hellions. And as we can see, no more worker production going down here at this natural expansion. So Polt is relatively all in here. He has to do a lot of damage here with this big attack. Now the Marauders are coming down. These Marauders don't quite have stim yet, but the stim has been started and it is coming down on the way here. With a scan, he's going to want to clear out all of this creep here, because he does not want to have to engage on creep here. On creep, the Lings will have faster movement speed than his Hellions by a lot. Some Banelings now coming down here for TLO, and he needs to be really, really careful here because those Banelings do not want to connect with Marauders. He wants to connect those Banelings with the Hellions. There are more units coming from the back here, and it looks like he's going to try to get a nice little surround there, but it looks like the Hellion numbers are just too high here for Polt, and Polt's just going to continue to push in here. These Marauders do a lot of damage versus armored units, also do a lot of damage to buildings, so they are going to start to poke in here, and in the meantime, TLO looking like he's in a little bit of trouble. He's got some Hellions here, and loses a couple of Banelings there for nothing, and now these 2 Spine Crawlers are all that defends the third, and Polt just kind of trying to decide right now where he wants to go in, and TLO pulling all of his drones from the main. The Spire did go up here, and the Spire's now coming out. 7 Mutalisks are on the way. LiquidTLO just needs to hold. That's all he needs to do. He needs to hold until these Mutalisks are out, because there is nothing in this army composition that can shoot up. So he's moving in now with all of his units, gets one decent Baneling hit there, but the Hellion numbers are still so huge here for Polt. He's going to continue to do a whole lot of damage. More units continuing to stream across the map here for Polt. Remember, Polt needs to do a lot of damage here, and I don't know that he's done the damage he needs to. If we check out the worker count right now, we can see TLO is way up, 55 Harvesters to 38. He's been on 3 bases here for a little while, and Polt is just continuing to do damage, and there we go, the Mutalisks now coming out here for TLO, as he's going to start to focus down these Hellions, but these Hellions are going to dash up into the main, start to deal some damage, and there are so many drones up here, and TLO needs to pull those right away, and needs to be really, really super careful. And I am getting messages from my friends, but no problem. We're just gonna set that to busy right away as soon as this attack finishes up. But TLO looks like he is managed to be ahead of the food count. Some Marauders did come in here to try to deal some damage here, and that's the menu button. That's not what I wanted to push. There we go. We're gonna set that to busy, close that on down right there, and now it looks like TLO is gonna be going for the counterattack. He is starting to get an Overseer here. Now let's see what Polt has been doing in his base. He's starting to produce some Marines, and he's got a lot of Widow Mine production now. He's producing Widow Mines 3 at a time, and that's, I think, a very, very smart move here by Polt. So he's going to continue to try to poke in here and do some damage here. He's going to be able to pick off this one supply depot, going to start to move in, and these Widow Mines aren't burrowed quite yet. Those Widow Mines going down here, and he's trying to pick off as many as he can. There we go, manages to pick those off. But there are missile turrets in the main and natural. Engineering bays going down here with +1 attack coming up now, and it looks like TLO just going to be going for a big attack here. Notice he's retaking this third, but he's not droning up at all. On the production tab, we can see nothing but Zerglings coming down here for Team Liquid's TLO, picking off as many of these supply depots, wants to keep his opponent's supply blocked for as long as possible here. Lings going even into the mineral line, starting to pick off some workers here. If we check out that workers killed count, we can see Polt really didn't do that much economic damage. He took out a hatchery, but only 9 workers killed and lost all those units. Now TLO moving up into the main, and taking one hit. Needs to be really careful with these Widow Mines. These Widow Mines are beautiful, really strong defensive units. As we can see, it looks like he's got some behind the mineral line as well here. And now it looks like he's going to be throwing down more barracks. He does have a third command center coming up here as well. But TLO is just continuing to press in more and more. Looks like he's just going to try to go for the kill here as he's going in one more time. Got some Banelings morphing here. Going to try to pick off that Widow Mine. Does manage to get it, but there's another Widow Mine going down, and it looks like he's going to use that to pick off a few Lings there. Not a bad trade, though. He managed to set off that one for just a little bit, just for 3 Lings, and look at this. On the map we can see that there are just more and more units continuing to stream in here, and oh, the Overseer goes down here, so TLO has no detection now, so he cannot see those Widow Mines. He needs to be really, really careful. Some Banelings coming in here. Will he get the connection on that bunker? Yes, he does manage to get that bunker, and Polt keeps stimming these Marines and has no medevacs out yet. There are absolutely no medevacs, so TLO can actually engage these Marines and just pick them off here. As long as he just keeps forcing those out. I'm trying to see if there is any starport at all out. No, there is no starport at all out for Polt, so he just, every time he stims these units, he's just killing his own units. So TLO can keep coming in here, forcing stims, and then just pulling out. But there, the Widow Mines keep continuing to come out here for Polt, and it looks like he's moving in here with some Lings, and he's not having the best of trades here, but he's managed to do some damage there, and it looks like he's now, going to be able to pick off the rest of those Widow Mines, so he's keeping those Widow Mine numbers low. And keep in mind, TLO is still ahead in the food count, but the Harvester count has been evened out here by Polt. Yes, TLO's mining on 3 bases, but he's not mining on full saturation, so that's a bit of a problem here. TLO finally having to fall back here. No, it looks like he's actually going to still continue to go in as he's got a couple of Banelings here. He needs to get a couple of those in the mineral line if he really can. That would actually be a really, really nice win for him. Do we have a starport coming down here? Yes, we do finally have 2 medevacs coming out here out of this starport, so that is exactly what Polt needs. He needs to get those medevacs up. He needs to get more of these Marines out on the field. He needs to get a little bit more defensive. I'm actually surprised that we haven't seen more missile turrets going down here, because I think that would actually help to shut this down quite a bit once these Mulists are down. Ooh, TLO taking one big hit there from those Widow Mines as TLO just continues to push in here. I don't know that I agree with this decision to continue fighting in here. I mean, Polt looks like he's pretty much held, and I think this game may just have stabilized. Yeah, and it looks like TLO finally realizing that is starting to go back into drone production finally here. And so now he's, you can see, yeah, there he goes. He's starting to retake his natural here, but he's continuing to be aggressive here. Might continue to poke in here and try to deal some damage here. Does he know that this command center is? Oh, yeah, there he goes. Finally, he sees that 3rd command center going down here. Even a 4th command center coming down here for Polt. So Polt feeling very, very confident here in this matchup. And it looks like Polt now going to be moving in here with these units. And all these units are pulling back right into that pack of Marines here that now have this medevac support, so they can now stim a little bit more freely here, because now it's just going to cost him medevac energy to use those stims. So now it looks like this game finally has stabilized, as Polt is going to be taking his 3rd, TLO going to be taking his 4th base there, once again taking this 4th base away from his opponent, right? Expanding constantly away from his opponent. But the food count now, as we can see, Polt is actually up in the food count right now. If we check out the units lost station, TLO has actually lost a lot more than his opponent. Almost double of what his opponent has lost here, and there are a lot of Widow Mines out here, so I think it's not in TLO's favor to continue to try to press into this really, really well-defended position here. He's now moving in with some Zerglings here. He's trying to get those Widow Mines to activate on these Marines here, but not quite doing that great of a job of it, as those Lings just went down for nothing. 66 Harvesters to 53 right now, as TLO has now gotten up to 3 bases. And it looks like, yeah, TLO just sitting on those 3 bases, just now starting his 1-1 upgrades. And keep in mind that during that big engagement here, Polt was going up to +2/+2 upgrades. He actually has +2 armor on the way, +3 attack coming down here. So he is way ahead of TLO in terms of upgrades right now. And I think TLO is really feeling that pressure, that real need to do some damage here. In the meantime, he's getting the +1 attack upgrade for the Flyers. As he continues to run around with these Lings, going to try to deal some damage. Some Lings get into the main here, and they're going to be able to pick off an SCV or 2, but not a whole lot. Oh, didn't even get 1 SCV. But now there is a drop going down in the main here for Polt, as now TLO being forced to pull all of his units off the land. He's going to start to focus down this spawning pool. Will these units get here in time to be able to deal with this? Looks like here come the Lings and the Mute is there, and it looks like, yeah, he's not going to be able to get that spawning pool, and he's going to be able to get out with those units. Oh, no, he's not. That medevac goes down and loses that medevac of Marines, but no, I was going to say that wasn't a bad trade, but no, actually, no, he did actually no damage in there. Maybe, yeah, he got 3 workers killed for a medevac and a full of Marines, and oh, it looks like TLO's going to look for an engagement here as he moves in, tries to get a good surround on all of these units here. but all of those Widow Mines managed to get that burrow off, and oh, TLO is going to GG from this game. He sees the upgrades on his opponent's units. He sees that they are at 2-2, 4th base coming down here for Polt, 145 supply to the 102 supply of LiquidTLO. I think he just knew that his tech was just way too far behind here, and that he wasn't going to be able to take this game. So well played game here by Polt. Well played game by TLO as well, managing to hold off that initial attack and not take too much damage, but I think it was just a big mistake to have to go in and try to commit so hard to killing his opponent after that little bit of the skirmish at his own base. Alrighty, I think we're actually going to look into one more game of TLOs. I've got a few more in this replay pack, so we're going to check out one more game, so stay tuned guys. More games from Team Liquid's TLO coming up in just a moment.